All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're headed to the rainforests, Central America, to
Ooh,
learn about the Guatemalan black howler monkey.
very cool.
We've got a research excerpt here to guide us. And honestly, I'm pretty excited about this one. These monkeys, I mean, they're known for how loud they are.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, what's the science behind all that noise? And, why are those booming howls
Yeah.
so important for their survival? I guess that's what we're going to find out.
Well, I think it's incredible how evolution has really shaped their vocalizations.
Yeah.
The Guatemalan black howler, they've got this specially adapted larynx with an enlarged hyoid bone that works like a resonating chamber. So it's basically like having a built-in amplifier.
Whoa, that's wild.
It is, and that's how their calls can travel like miles through the rainforest.
So it's not just about volume then. I mean, it's about how their vocal apparatus
Exactly.
gets actually structured. That's
Yeah.
that's really incredible. But
It is.
why all the shouting? Wouldn't that like attract
Yeah.
predators? You
Well,
would think, right?
you would, but it's all about communication. They're in this environment, the rainforest.
Yeah.
It's dense. It's hard to see each other.
Right.
So these vocalizations, they use them to define their territories,
Oh, okay.
attract mates,
Makes sense.
ward off any rivals, too.
So it's like their own personal sound system,
It is.
broadcasting, important info through the jungle.
Yeah.
I was reading that they can be found in Belize, Guatemala, and parts of southern Mexico.
Right, yeah.
What kind of habitat do they prefer in those regions?
Well, they're mainly found in lowland rainforests, those lush, vibrant ecosystems.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with those dense canopies, tons of trees to swing from.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll also find them by rivers, streams, what we call riparian forests, and even semi-deciduous forests.
Oh, wow.
But generally below 500 meters elevation.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah, they have their preferences.
Speaking of swinging, I was kind of surprised to learn how big these monkeys are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the research mentioned that males can weigh up to 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's like bigger than most house cats.
That's bigger than my cat, for sure.
Right. What's the advantage of being that big?
Well, I mean, that size, it's definitely an asset in their world. It comes into play with their dominance
Okay.
hierarchies and probably helps protect them from predators, like jaguars, ocelots.
Okay, so they're big and loud, but what about their looks?
Right.
What makes them stand out?
Visually, they're pretty striking. I mean, they're called black howlers for a reason. They've got this coat of jet black fur, and that sets them apart from some other howler monkey species.
Oh, interesting.
That have, different colors and variations. And of course, you can't forget their most remarkable feature,
Which is
that long prehensile tail.
prehensile. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so a prehensile tail, it's basically like a fifth limb. It can grasp and manipulate objects.
Wow.
It's a crucial adaptation for their life in the trees. Allows them to move super easily through the canopy,
Yeah.
reach for food,
Oh, cool.
even support their weight when they're hanging upside down.
It's like having a built-in grappling hook.
It is.
So they spend most of their time high up in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
What's life like for them up there?
Life in the canopy is it's a constant dance of balance, agility,
Yeah.
and awareness. Their prehensile tails, I mean, those are key to their acrobatic movements. Helps them navigate the branches with ease.
And I understand that their diet also plays a role in their pretty laid-back lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely. They're what we call folivores. They
Mhm.
mainly eat leaves.
Leaves. I mean, that doesn't sound very energy-packed.
It's not. That's why they've evolved this specialized digestive system to get the most nutrition possible.
So how does their digestive system
Right.
handle all that tough plant material?
Well, their gut, it's got this complex community of microorganisms that break down cellulose.
Cellulose.
It's the main component of plant cell walls.
Oh, okay.
So they can extract nutrients they wouldn't be able to get otherwise.
So it's not just about what they eat, it's about how they process it.
Right, exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is.
But this diet, though, I mean, that must have some effect on their energy levels, right?
You're right. You're right. Digesting all those leaves takes time, takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And that's why they're known for being, relatively sedentary.
Okay.
They spend a lot of their day resting and digesting.
Okay, so they're big, they're loud, and they're surprisingly chill.
Yeah.
But I know they're not solitary creatures, so tell me about their social structure.
Sure. So they live in these social groups, usually about 5 to 10 individuals.
Okay.
And a dominant male leads the pack. These groups are important for survival. It means protection from predators,
Makes sense.
and it makes foraging more efficient.
I'm curious about their social dynamics. Are there a lot of conflicts within these groups? So we've got these groups of relatively peaceful monkeys.
Right.
Kind of hanging out, digesting leaves.
Right, exactly.
But they must have some interesting interactions.
Oh, they do.
So what can you tell us about their communication, like within those groups?
Well, I mean, their howls are definitely important, for group cohesion, defending their territory.
Sure, yeah.
But they also use all these other vocalizations and, like, physical cues
Oh, interesting.
to communicate, too. Like lip smacking, tongue movements.
Okay.
Even just small changes in their posture
Oh, wow.
can mean a lot, whether it's about food, potential threats, or even, just how they're feeling.
It's like a whole language.
It is.
Of like subtle signals that we as observers might completely miss.
Right.
It really makes you wonder what other nuances we're missing
Yeah.
when we, look at the animal world.
Absolutely.
Speaking of their impact, the excerpt mentioned that they play a really critical role
They do.
in maintaining the health of the rainforest.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, as seed dispersers, they're vital
Oh.
for the rainforests, for its biodiversity.
Right.
So they move through the canopy, they're eating fruit, leaves, and they're basically spreading seeds all over the forest without even trying.
So they're like accidental gardeners then.
Kind of, yeah, they are. They're planting seeds for future trees.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's not just about dropping seeds randomly. I mean, they carry fruit to different spots.
Okay.
So they're widening the distribution of different plant species.
Huh.
And they even help fertilize the soil. Remember that slow digestion?
Yeah.
Well, some seeds actually go through their system
Oh, wow.
completely intact
Okay.
and end up in their droppings, which, are nutrient rich.
Yeah.
So it gives those seeds a great head start.
It's amazing how these simple actions they do
Right.
have this huge impact
They
on the
do.
entire ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Are there any specific plant species that really rely on the Guatemalan black howler
Oh, yeah.
for seed dispersal?
Yeah, like the Ramon tree.
Ramon tree.
It's a key species in the rainforest. It relies heavily on howler monkeys for seed dispersal.
Oh, wow.
So they eat the fruit, deposit the seeds in other areas. It helps the Ramon tree to thrive.
It really makes you realize
It does.
how interconnected everything is in the rainforest.
It really is.
Like the survival of one species
Right.
is totally linked to the well-being of others.
Absolutely.
That makes me think about the research mentioned some threats to these monkeys.
Right, yeah.
So what are the biggest challenges they face today?
Well, sadly, one of the biggest is habitat loss
Okay.
because of deforestation.
Right.
Rainforests are cleared for agriculture, logging, and just human development in general.
Yeah.
So the howler monkeys, they lose their homes and their food sources.
Yeah, it's not just about losing trees.
Exactly.
It's disrupting the whole balance of the ecosystem.
It is. And this fragmentation, it isolates populations.
Right.
Which makes it harder for them to, find mates and maintain genetic diversity.
What other
Right.
what other dangers do they face?
Well, hunting is another one. They're not usually the main target,
Okay.
but they can be victims of opportunistic hunting or trapping.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and it's especially bad as their habitats shrink
Right.
because they come into closer contact with people.
It's really a sad reality for so many species
Oh, it is.
that are, losing their homes and facing more and more pressure from us.
Absolutely.
And I think there's another threat,
Right.
a more insidious one, the illegal pet trade.
Yes, unfortunately. I mean, the striking animals,
Yeah.
relatively docile.
Yeah.
And that makes them targets
Right.
for the pet trade. And taking them for pets, it doesn't just remove them from their populations. It also often involves some really cruel and inhumane treatment.
It's heartbreaking to think about
It is.
all the suffering they go through
Yeah.
just for, human vanity. But
Right.
are there any glimmers of hope?
I think so.
Is there anything being done to protect them?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For example, in Belize,
Okay.
there's the Community Bagoon Sanctuary.
Okay.
They're doing great work to protect the Guatemalan black howler's habitat.
Wow, that's great.
And they're also educating the local communities about how important these monkeys are.
That's awesome.
So organizations like this, they're crucial for raising awareness, promoting responsible tourism, and implementing those conservation strategies.
It sounds like they're facing a tough battle.
They are.
But it's good to know, at least, that there are people dedicated to their protection.
It is.
So, for us as individuals
Right.
who maybe live far from these rainforests,
Yeah.
what can we do to help?
Well, there are actually quite a few things we can do, even from afar.
Okay.
Supporting organizations like that sanctuary in Belize through donations or volunteering.
Okay.
That's one way to contribute.
Yeah.
And, we can be more informed consumers, opting for sustainable products,
Right.
supporting companies that actually care about environmental responsibility.
It's a good reminder that, our actions have consequences.
They do.
And even, like, small choices can make a difference.
They can.
Are there other ways we can
Sure.
advocate for the protection of these monkeys and their habitat?
Absolutely. Spreading awareness is key.
Okay.
Talking to friends and family about the threats they face,
Yeah.
sharing info on social media,
Right.
supporting policies that protect rainforests.
Yep.
Those are all ways to really get the message out there
Yeah.
about conservation.
Just learning about the Guatemalan black howler
Mm-hmm.
and understanding, like, their role in the ecosystem.
Yeah,
It's already changed my perspective.
I think for me too.
It's a reminder of how much we still don't know
Right.
about the natural world and how our actions,
Yeah.
they impact even the most, like, seemingly remote places on the planet.
I agree. It really is a journey of discovery, and the more we learn, the more we realize how connected we all are.
I think it's time to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of our own reflections on what we've learned today. It's pretty amazing
Yeah.
how much we can learn from,
Right.
just one research excerpt, right? We went from those incredible howls to,
I know.
them being like accidental gardeners.
Yeah.
And then, all the threats they're facing.
Right.
What
Yeah.
stands out to you most from our deep dive today?
You know what? I think it's how this one species,
Yeah.
the Guatemalan black howler monkey, it like embodies so many important parts of rainforest ecology,
Right.
their adaptations,
Mhm.
their behaviors, even just their existence.
Right.
It highlights how interconnected everything is in these ecosystems.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like complex.
It's like they're
Yeah.
a microcosm
Yes.
of the rainforest,
Exactly.
reflecting both its beauty and,
And
how fragile
yes,
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's
story too. It's
Yeah.
a powerful reminder that
yeah.
the choices we make,
Mhm.
even the small ones, they can have these ripple effects that
Yeah.
go way beyond, just what's right around us. What do you think?
Right.
If these monkeys could talk,
Yeah.
what would they say to us?
That is a really thought-provoking question.
It is. What?
I think I think they would probably urge us to, like,
To.
listen more closely
Yeah.
to the rhythms of nature,
Yeah.
to appreciate that,
Right.
that web of life
Yeah.
that sustains us all.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think they'd remind us that the health of our planet is
Mhm.
completely tied to the well-being of all species.
Right.
Even the ones that seem like super far away from our lives.
Exactly.
Protecting their habitat. It's
Yeah.
not just about saving one species. It's about protecting that balance
Yeah.
of a whole ecosystem.
So it's a
Yeah.
call to action then to,
Yeah.
be more conscious stewards of the natural world.
Absolutely.
So what can we take away
Yeah.
from this deep dive
Yeah.
and actually apply to our own lives?
Okay. Well,
Even if we, don't live near a rainforest.
right. I think the biggest takeaway is
Yeah.
recognizing how interconnected we are with nature,
Mhm. Mhm.
Even if we don't see a rainforest every day,
Right.
our choices still affect them.
Yeah.
Supporting sustainable practices,
Mhm.
reducing our carbon footprint,
Right.
being mindful of how much we consume,
Yeah.
all of that contributes to the health of the planet.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed sometimes by,
Right.
how big these environmental challenges are.
The scale of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But focusing on a specific species like this,
Right.
like the Guatemalan black howler monkey,
Exactly.
it does make it feel
It does.
more tangible, more personal.
It does, absolutely. And understanding, what one species is going through,
Yeah.
it can inspire us to learn more about others,
Mhm.
and take action
Right.
on a bigger scale. It sparks that sense of wonder
Yeah.
and that desire to protect
Yeah.
this incredible biodiversity
Right. Right.
that we have on our planet.
Well said. So to our listeners,
Yes.
as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mhm.
we'll leave you with this.
Okay.
What small changes
Yeah.
can you make in your own life
Right.
to support the health of our planet
Yeah.
and ensure that incredible creatures like the Guatemalan black howler monkey
Right.
can, continue to thrive?
Marie,
Yeah.
even the tiniest actions are making a difference. So let's all do our part,
Yeah. Yeah.
to keep the rainforest healthy
Yeah.
and the howler monkeys in it
Yeah.
thriving for,
For generations to come.
generations to come. Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey
Thanks for having me.
into the heart of the rainforest. And until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
and keep those howler monkey howls
Deep in your heart.
echoing in your heart. Yes.
No.